It's you talk, baby.
What y'all doing? What you doing?
We just welcome to some kids back here at the regular school. First school, Doc. We're getting out.
It's you talk, baby.
You talk family, what go on, what go on? This your boy D. And of course, I got my guy, Mr. Larry Frank Jr. in the building. Know how we start off every show. Larry Frank Jr., let them know what it is. It ain't no us.
Without you, baby.
Without you, baby. What's going on? What's going on, man? Y'all already know what it is, man. We got a great show for y'all tonight because I got my big bro, Larry Frank, big bro, man. This man right here, man, is a pillar, man, in the community, man. And what he do, not only just in Savannah, Georgia, but everywhere, man. This man, I love him to death, man. This is Mr. Rob DeLoach Jr., man, who's going to be joining us tonight. But before we get into it, Larry Frank, sir, how you doing tonight? Hey, TZ Bop Business, what's going on? We see you. What's going on, TZ Bop Business? What it do? Larry Frank, how you doing tonight, brother?
Doing good, man. We in overdrive, man, kicking these shows out, man. We had a good one last night on Real Talk. Shouts out to little sis Shy, and thanks to everybody that was on the panel and everybody that was in. We gonna have a good one tonight. And hey, man, feeling great, man. I love these things, man. I love coming on and talking.
Yes, definitely, man. So, like I said, who we have with us tonight, man? Like I said, this man does a lot. He does a lot, and we're gonna bring him on. I want everybody to show him some love, man. He is the founder of the Factory 2.0. And without any further ado, man, let's hurry up and bring him in there because I'm ready to get to it, man. Mr. Rob DeLoach Jr. is in the building.
What's up, gentlemen?
Mr. DeLoach Jr. is in the building, man.
What's going on, man? I appreciate y'all having me on.
Oh, no, we appreciate you being here, man. We appreciate you coming on with us, man. Mr. DeLoach, man, for people that don't know, man, talk to us, man. Give them a little backdrop, man, on who Mr. Rob DeLoach Jr. is, man, because we know the work you do. We know everything you do. So we want everybody else to know, man, the You Talk family. Tell them, man, give them a little something, man. Talk to them.
Man, this is Rob DeLoach out of Savannah, Georgia. Just trying to put in some work, filling the gaps here in the city, whether it's working through my nonprofit, the Factory 2.0, whether it's going out feeding kids in communities, whether it's going to work in the school system, whether it's just giving back. And it's been a great opportunity for me in Savannah to be able to help my community.
Definitely. So, Mr. DeLoach, the Factory 2.0, can you give us a little background, man? I know you do a lot with it, man, but just kind of tell us, like, what inspired you to do it and how did it come about?
Well, I'll just tell you this. I run a gym, and we call it the Factory. So we've been able to produce about, this year, we got 16 Power 4 kids in the gym.
Okay.
16. And coming from a population of 400,000 people, that's pretty good. And a lot of the guys were working individually at other gyms and things like that. And my partner Sam Carter, he's a guru of strength and conditioning. And he was training his son at the YMCA, and I was working with my son at the YMCA. And we decided to put our heads together, and we started what we call 2717 The Factory. And started out with his son and my son, and now we have a waiting list for over 40 to 50 kids trying to get in the gym.
Wow. That's
so
crazy.
yeah, it's crazy in Savannah. So we have a lot of coaches just come and sit in the gym, and they're amazed of the stuff that we're doing here in Savannah, Georgia. They don't ask questions, because they're coming into our house, so they have to respect the work that we do. We don't stop because coaches walk in the gym. We got to work, and they respect that. And it has grown to relationships. Like most of us, I carry 2 phones, and it's I tell parents I carry 1 phone for my job, and I carry one phone to help your son or daughter get connected to college coaches around the country.
Yes, definitely. Go ahead, Frank. You got something for him?
Yeah, absolutely. So the basis of the training and everything, it transcends more than just football. It's like you guys prepare that young athletes. It's more of a conditioning for whatever, or is it more specialized in a certain sport? Like, do you focus specifically on football, basketball, baseball? How does that work?
We the weightlifting is a byproduct. We teach better human beings.
Okay.
We want these young people. I was in the Air Force, and my partner at the gym was a Marine. So the accountability of kids coming in the gym, we know the standard. We the stars in the gym, not them. So yes, you're going to get bigger, faster, stronger, but we're going to teach you about life and how to be a great human being.
Yes.
And that's why a lot of parents send their kids to the gym. It's not the strength and conditioning. It's most so, becoming a better human being. So we talk about that a lot. How can you help the least, the lost, and the left out?
So in other words, the strength and the conditioning is basically a bonus. The real meat and potatoes is what you give them, to strengthen this up here, because this is what's forgotten so much. Talk about the beginning of getting it established. Was there any challenges in getting the program established, getting everything established, any pushback from in the community?
Well, part of it is, the pushback is that we have the better kids, right? And I always challenge parents is, if you work with somebody, you want the better workers. And this doesn't work unless the parents are involved. Because most of these kids, we start them off in 7th grade. They don't drive. They don't keep the lights on. They don't buy the groceries. They just come and go to work. So it's more so driven more so around the parents until they get to 11th and 12th grade where they can drive. So it's a lot on the parents because they got to bring them there. They got to pick them up. They got to be on time. They got to get, when we give them a menu of food, they got to go buy the food. So it's a lot on the parents at a 7th and 8th grade. So we've been very successful in establishing that. But yes, there's been some pushback because some of the high school coaches are intimidated by us for whatever reason. And I don't coach football, and neither does he. I'm from Savannah as well, so I've coached Little League sports and middle school sports for over 25 years. So a lot of these kids now, I knew them when they were in the womb of their mother.
Yeah.
Right. So do you think getting to, because I hear about that a lot, because I know here in our local community, we have a couple of local trainers. They have strength and conditioning programs and stuff like that. But it seems to be like there's an intimidation factor, and I don't know why, because it's not like you're taking anybody's jobs.
Right.
All you're doing, if anything, they should be grateful because you're helping facilitate a more better conditioned athlete. And at the same time, you're working on the mental part of it. You're getting their mind right. You're making their job as a coach.
Shouldn't you be working together?
Yeah, well, that's part of it, but they want to have control. You know how these cats are. They want to get the credit for somebody else's child, for somebody else investing in their child. And part of the challenge is that a lot of the coaches like, well, why do you go there? You get strength and conditioning here. And we tell the parents, if you think you come in here for strength and conditioning, you don't have to be here.
Right.
But the other part of that is that they don't tell the kids that are A students that they don't need to go to tutorial. So we look at as an after school program to get better. You just happen to play football or basketball or baseball or soccer or whatever the sport is. We prepare for life. And the other thing is we don't coach them for high school. We coach those in life.
Okay.
And that's where I wanted to go at, man, because it's even bigger than what you're talking about, man. We got to go deep, man, because I want to know how did you get to the point with you do stuff like, man, like wellness checks and stuff, not only, in the community for the men. I mean,
Yeah.
I seen you do book bag giveaways, school supply giveaway. I seen you at the school the other day. Y'all was welcoming the kids back. How did it brought to that? How did you get to like that though? Like,
So
you just expanded, man, everything.
So the factory part, we've been doing that since 2018. And here it is 2025 now. So we got a good solid foundation. So what brought the factory 2.0 on board is that we have a lot of kids that have sisters and brothers that don't play sports. So when they sit in the hallway with their laptop and play on their phones, it's like, man, what are we doing for those kids?
Right.
So my intentions when I started the Factory 2.0, and it's still my intentions, is focus on the kids that don't play sports, right? Whether it's through math, science, whatever it is that they like, computers. And I attempted in 2022 to bring the National Engineering League, which is it's focused on kids who want to get into engineering. And I tried to partner with the local schools here, but of course they rejected it. And so what I did, I got with my brother. We flew in 5 young engineers from Eastern Michigan University, and I put on the STEM camp last summer. So they learned how to, make rockets. They flew drones. They broke down computers. They built computers. We brought in an engine. They broke down the engine. We talked about all of the factors that go into making this engine work, and we had a great turnout. And it was well received within the community for the kids that participated.
So are you doing all this by yourself? Do you have any like sponsors? Because like, how's this getting funded? If you don't mind me asking, like,
it's getting funded by the good Lord and me having money to give back to the community. I don't have any donors. I don't have any sponsors, and part of that is sometimes when you deal with sponsors, then they want to be able to control your narrative.
We know
And
it.
I don't want
know about
anybody.
that.
I don't want anybody donating or sponsoring, and then they want to control my free speech. And my thought process of what I see is considered being boots on the ground. So, for those that know me, I don't have to ask. They're just like, Rob, what do you need? So I work within a budget that allows me to do, certain projects. And if we fall short, I just fill in the gap.
Well, I tell you what, is it any way that you can give us the Cash App now? Because over here on Utah, man, we put our money where our mouth is, man. So I want to make a donation tonight, man, and we want to support, man. So if you could text me the Cash App right now, and I'm gonna put it up on the screen too while we're sitting there talking. Whatever you like, whether it's Zelle, Cash App, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
I want to send a donation, man.
We normally do PayPal and we do Cash App.
Okay.
Yeah, Zelle is a little difficult to do through the nonprofits. It's just a lot of red tape. But it can be done. So I will send that to you, while we're on the call.
Please do. Yes, sir.
So, you asked me how did I get it started? So I've been fortunate enough to have 3 kids that played at major university. My daughter ran track at Ohio State. My son played football at Florida State. And then my son originally went to VCU, transferred to UGA, and he graduated from Loyola Chicago for basketball. But I've been running with my kids since they were 6 years old on the track. So I spent a lot of years on the road, building relationships with other kids, other parents. And you guys know when you go to track meet, you see the same kids everywhere you go.
Right.
And the one that played basketball was my first AAU national champion at 9 years old. And he was over that. He was over at the legendary track in New Orleans, is where he won his first AAU gold medal. That was
Tad
after
Gorman.
Katrina. Yeah, Tad Gorman. After Katrina. And not only did I look out for my kids, but I brought other kids along, who parents for whatever reason had to work, couldn't afford the, 10 days for AAU nationals. We put them in that car, in that truck, and we just brought them along. So part of that is my parents, for whatever reason, they never saw me play youth sports, never saw me play high school ball or college ball. So I always felt like if I had an opportunity to help someone, I basically, just fill in the gap. And you all know if you ever play sports, it's a good feeling when you can look up in the stands and see someone,
Yes, sir.
your parents. And I just, as
Yes.
a young African American Negro black man, I've never had the
Yes.
luxury of seeing my mom saying, "Well, good job, son," or my dad.
Right.
I was raised by my granny, and granny's gonna do all that they can do, but they just don't know all the ins and outs of traveling, and so
Right.
she did the best that she could.
Right.
So with that, I just I don't want a kid to ever feel like they don't have support. So I do a lot of things based on my life experiences, and that was one of it. Is that if you can't make it, I'm gonna find a way to be there to support not only my kids, but I'm gonna support your kid as if they are my kids. They're gonna eat, they're gonna sleep, and they're not gonna have to worry about anything.
Good deal. Good deal. If you're just joining the program, man, we want to let you know, man, the man who we got on with us tonight, that's Mr. Rob DeLoach Jr., man.
It's you talk, baby.
With You Talk Winning at the Game of Life. Me and Larry Frank say this all the time. We don't just do sports, and this is important, to bring gentlemen like yourself on because it's bigger than sports. And, a lot of us grew up without a father, and I'm one of those ones.
Right.
And thank God for my uncles and some of the mentors of my friends' fathers that picked up the slack, for my father not being there. So men like yourself are definitely needed, and we appreciate you. We appreciate everything that you're doing for your community. We appreciate everything you're doing for everybody else's kids, man, because you don't know how much that means to, especially I can go back to my childhood. Like you say, my mother had to work, and I didn't always have nobody up in them stands. I would have my uncle them, there, but sometimes my mother had to work. So, it's definitely appreciated, Mr. DeLoach, and we appreciate everything that you do.
Yeah. So part of that is my dad, when I got to college, was on drugs. And we happened to be in the same town that I played college basketball in. So as a 17-year-old in college and having your dad in the same town, I used to leave tickets for him, And I'm like, after the game, the AD was like, well, he didn't show up. Well, I had a teammate that was like 6'10", big guy, Big Bob.
I think we lost him. He'll be right back. He's gonna be back in. This is gonna be a good one, man. This definitely gonna be a good one, man. I mean, he does so much, man. And like you say, to everybody in the chat, if you would like to call up and talk to Mr. DeLoach, man, the telephone number is 404-981-3997. So if you want to call up, man, and give him his flowers, man, feel free to call up, man, because he's like, people like him are definitely needed, Larry Frank. And like I say, he do a lot of this, man, out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of want to get the word out there, man, and let him put his handles up, man, because I'm definitely going to give a donation right here on the show, man. And we appreciate everything that he's doing. From what you've heard so far, man, what do you think is the most interesting thing?
Well, what stands out to me is one, like you said, it's a lot of his own funding coming out of his pocket. That's the first thing. The next thing that stands out is the fact that there seems to be not a lot of support from the usual suspects, that being, city officials and stuff like that. And then the third thing is that, like I said earlier, not just with the strength and conditioning, but the fact that you're working with them, building their mind teaching them responsibility, teaching them how to become better adults before they become adults.
Right.
See, that's what a lot of people forget, that student athlete, before you're an athlete, student is what it is. He's just making it better for you to be a better student and make it easier for the coaches. So that's what stands out to me. That's what I love, listening to this whole thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut out, but so you talking about my dad. He would on Wednesday he would come over to the dorms, and we stayed in rooming houses back then in the '80s, and he would bring me $50 on Wednesday, and back then that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
But on Thursday morning about 5:00, he would be knocking on my window and be saying, "Well, son, can I get $20?" Well, I'm like, okay. And he said, "Well, I'll bring it to you later." But I didn't think anything about it, and that went on for probably half of the season. But then I had Big Bob to come in and say, "Hey, man, I seen your dad." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Yeah, man, your dad on the side of town that he doesn't need to be on. So that's right over there." So he took me over there, and sure enough, I saw him, and it was a bad situation. So you can imagine a 17-year-old kid in the same town as his dad, and his teammates had to see his dad on crack cocaine, and he has the same clothes on for 3 or 4 days. And I was, I struggled with that. And I think my parents, back home in Savannah knew that my dad was on drugs because, the story is told he was, how they do. They ask people back in the communities that they feel comfortable with. So I went home for the summer, back to Savannah. And you guys from the South, it was, it's hot. And I saw my dad walking around the neighborhood with, all black on, sweater, long sleeves. And I'm like, man, but he didn't know, he didn't see me. And I said, what? There's 2 things going to happen. Either he's going to get killed out here or I'm going to kill him. I was just that hurt. So what I decided to do, being 17, 18 years old, is that I got in the game.
Right.
I got in the street game in college not because I needed the money or I wanted to hustle, but I wanted to get back at everybody I thought that got my dad hooked on drugs.
Yeah. Wow.
I still, kept my character. I still was, dressed nice. Even the guys that, used to make sure I was good, it was like, hey, we good. We trust you. Now, I'm a hustler by nature, but I'm not that type of hustler. But I learned the game. You learn the game. And it was very lucrative. But at the same time, a lot came with that. A lot came with that in the streets because everybody knows who has the money. Everybody knows who's holding. And, the guys I was running with, they made that trip down 95 plenty of times. I was a lead car sometimes. Sometimes I rode in the back. Sometimes I rode in the front, as a decoy. But, that went on for about 2 years. But at the same time, I ended up making a decision in my life when I got shot at. And we were having a gathering for my daughter, a beauty contest. They have those in the churches to raise the most money, right?
Right.
And we came back to the projects, and we were celebrating, and we were buying the $1,800 bottles of champagne, the ones that stood up in the package stores on the counter in the front. And we was popping bottles, and there was a guy supposedly in our clique, and he got jealous, and he went and got weapons, and he started shooting. And what I did, I dove up under my car that was parked on the curb, and the bullets hit the front wheel. Now you imagine a car parked on the curb, and I was able to get under it.
Oh God!
And I said that's nothing but God. So
yeah, absolutely.
The next day I decided to check my dad in rehab for 75 days, and for 75 days I was there every day. Go to practice, and sit there with him, through those rehab sessions. And then I came to the conclusion it wasn't me, it was a decision that he made, not me, but I felt guilty. and most are hurt, really not guilty, but hurt that my dad would get caught up, in something like that. But he's a Vietnam vet, so
Right.
if anybody's been around Vietnam vets, that trauma never goes away,
Correct.
Right.
even to this day. And so I struggle with that part of my life, and what I decided to do is all the money that I accumulated and all of the resources that came with that, I decided to give it all back. And it was a lot of money and a lot of other stuff. And I walked away. And they said, "Man, Rob, man, just hold on, man. We're gonna have a breakthrough." I said, "Nope, this is it." Because not only was I hurting myself, I look at my granny and she just said, "You know how the old people, I just pray for you."
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that is true saying that my grandmama prayed for me. That is a real true saying, and I live by
Yeah.
that. So out of
Yeah.
respect for her, all the people in my community, all the people in the church, I wasn't raised that way. But
Right.
when you see the man and you have his namesake and he's doing certain things, it kind of, it was embarrassing. And like I say, I was just searching. And if you're in the streets gonna always welcome you.
Right.
It's just what they do, right? Nobody's
Right.
saying, "Nah, Rob, go ahead and finish college, man. Don't worry about that." They was like, "Man, come on in, we got you."
Mm-hmm.
So that was my brotherhood. But it was a time in my life. So I learned a lot early, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. I was probably close to a millionaire at 20. At 20 years old. There were no bank accounts, and it all went into shoe boxes and duffel bags and paper bags and pillowcases. And the crazy part, I never worried about going to prison or going to jail. I was just ruthless, just out here, just wilding.
Right.
We would take money and take a day off, and we'd fly to Miami, not realizing you buy that ticket the same day as a red flag. We
Mm-hmm.
19, 20 years old. But the good
Mm-hmm.
Lord spared me, and I decided that, hey, I want to do something different for my life, and I ended up joining the United States Air Force, where I served for 14 years. Served
Oh
in
wow.
two wars and played ball in the service. And it kind of, I won't say changed my life, but it gave me some direction. It gave me some accountability. It gave me an opportunity to grow and just appreciate life from a whole different perspective.
Wow. I
Wow.
told you it was gonna
Yeah.
be good, Larry Frank. I didn't know it was gonna be like this, but
I'm taking it all in, man. I'm taking it all in. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Well,
And
first and foremost, man. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
people like young people, and I tell people this story, and I'm not ashamed because the story that I tell them may save them.
Right.
Because if I
right.
don't tell the story, then other people may not come out and tell their story. So,
Right.
and like I say, my dad and I, people say, "Well, what about your relationship?" He's still my dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not angry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not upset. It's
Right.
just the time period in his life that he went through something, and I'm grateful that he's still here, despite all of the
That's what's up.
shortcomings. Never taking me, get shoes or clothes or haircut, all the things that he didn't do. I'm still grateful that he's here.
That's real. That's real because that's a blessing. Because as Devin said, he didn't have his. Um, my dad was there, but he passed 4 years ago. And you know, when you still have your dad around, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. If you ever had a father, that's a blessing. But if you still have him around, that's a blessing. Um, I wanted to say also, thank you for your service, obviously, being a veteran.
Mhm.
Um, where do you see the vision of the factory? Where would you like it to go? What would you like it? For what everything you've done thus far, do you see bigger horizons for it, or do you have aspirations of bigger horizons for it?
Well, I'll just say this: I will fill in the gap for whatever the young people desire. because I don't want it to be me. I want them to drive it. I just want to provide the platform
Right.
and find the resources to support whatever it is in life that they want to be. Um, if we get enough kids and say, Coach, we want to learn how to fly planes, then guess what? I'm going out to Gulfstream and I'm gonna solicit, help that we got 25 young people that want to learn how to fly planes. So I don't want it to be a scripted program. I want it to be a
Right.
process where
Right.
Yes.
whatever the gaps are with the young people, that I find the resources to give them, like I say, whatever it is that their heart's desires.
And let me ask you this,
Right.
coach to student numbers and ratios, how are y'all looking like that? Like, is there a big enrollment or a certain number? Or y'all short on coaches? Like, do you have to do like a lot of extra overtime to accommodate for all of the kids that you have? How your numbers and all of that?
Right.
How's that going?
As far as, I missed the first part of the question.
Your coach the kid enrollment, like yourself, whatever other coaches you have, and then the number of kids. Like how's that?
So when we're talking about the gym aspect of it, we only look for a certain type of kid.
Okay.
So we interview parents every Sunday for 2 hours, and we vet the parents. So we get recommendations from other ball players and other coaches and other parents in the community,
Okay.
and they make the recommendations. I do attend most of the middle school games. I may flash in and flash out if the juice is worth the squeeze, then I'll go check it out.
Right.
But you know as well as I know, everybody think their kid is that kid,
Yes.
right? So,
Right.
so the one thing you're gonna get with me and my partner, you're gonna get honesty, because I know what it looks like. I know what the sacrifices look like in order to get to that level.
Right.
Most of them, parents, they have no idea. I've been fortunate enough, like I say, my daughter was ranked number 2 in the world at one time as a long jumper. As a freshman, she jumped 20 feet. Um, so I've been around it. She's been top 5 in the country from the time she got on the track till she got to, Ohio State, the Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Kalen was a nationally ranked kid. He was, unarmed All-American. Jalen, my youngest, is 6'9", basketball player. So I've seen what it looks like. I've seen the competition. I know the work and the dedication it takes, the sacrifices. And these kids don't know. Even my kids, all they know is, Dad, I want to go somewhere. And I got to find a way. They don't know if the lights were going to get cut off. They don't know if the car was going to get repossessed.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know if I had 4 good tires, I had 3 and one had plug in it. And it's not for them to know. I'm the parent. It's my vision to provide resources for them to be successful. So in saying that, we can only take 60 kids a year, 60 kids a year.
Okay.
And that's 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th through 12th. We get them young. We don't take super seniors.
Right.
Unless you was just that dynamic kid that came from the military, and then we're like, okay, we'll help you. But at that point, if you're playing sports, it's just a season and then it's over with. But if we can start them young in the 7th grade, we got them for 5 years.
Correct.
And then we can see them grow, and that's what the coaches like. They want to see the ready-made, but they don't realize we started with these kids in the 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just us two.
So let me ask you a question, Mr. D. Do some of those do you have the support of some of the coaches, like you were saying in the beginning? A lot of them feel threatened, but do you have the support of some of the coaches around in the area?
Of course, they want to know who the better kids are, so they come to the gym to scout too.
Right.
They ain't crazy now.
Right.
Right.
But the thing is that we don't coach football, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have 100 kids in the gym. We have 16. So you imagine college kids or high school kids, and there are 100 kids, and everybody is not doing what they're supposed to do. Well, when you got 16 kids and 4 per rack, we can watch everybody's lift, because we time it. We got to, coach has a clock, and you got to be able to push heavyweight fast.
Right.
So the accountability is there. When you got accountability, you got an opportunity to be successful.
That's what's up. If you're just doing the show, we got Mr. Rob DeLoach Jr. on, the founder of the Factory 2.0. And again, Mr. DeLoach, you can check your cash app. I just gave my donation.
It's you talk, baby.
And I'm
Thank
going to
you.
put it back up, you guys, man. Like I said, this is what we do over here on Utah, man. You know, we can talk sports all day, every day, but it's deeper than sports over here with us, man. We try to bring, awareness, man, to what's going on, man, and we want to, give people like this gentleman here, man, this flowers, man, for what he's doing for the community, and we appreciate everything, man, because again, like, Mr. DeLoach, I'm sure you see a lot, with some of the kids that don't have, fathers and maybe a two-parent home, like with those kids, like I'm sure that they're very appreciative of what you're doing. Like, just talk about some of the kids that like that you're helping with the book drive, and like the going back to school stuff, like I seen you guys doing the other day. Can you just talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, so everything's about relationships. So I
Mm-hmm.
reached out to the principal of the school in the inner city, because a lot of times it's the inner city schools that struggle with resources. And
Right.
you know as well as I know, it's a lot of federal money was cut, due to the administration this year. So recognizing that as a parent and as a coach in the community, we have to rally around each other and support our young people. So what I decided to do, and is just get with men and ladies and say, hey, let's do something that it should be a standard anyway. Let's go meet these kids where they are. Let's go to the school on the first day with no agenda and just say, welcome back to school. Something simple, right?
Right.
And that's what we did. And, people showed up, and it brought back memories of me walking to school on the first day, because you got your new clothes on.
Right.
Now
Right.
these kids got to wear uniforms. So and walking into the school, I'm like, man, I got my new clothes on, I got my fresh cut, I get to see everybody. So I'm
Yep.
excited about going to school on the first day.
Right.
But we got there like 6:45 in the morning, and we just observed. My pastor came out, and friends, and we just observed the environment.
Mhm.
And I'll just say this: we need a lot of help. These young people have great gifts, but when you have parents, working two jobs, or single moms, or single dads, I can just give an example of, and we have an elementary school and a middle school next to each other. So it was one parent was dropping one of the kids off to the elementary school, and she was walking the other three, she was ahead of the other three, trying to get them to school, and she had on a work uniform. So that told me that she didn't have a car, and she had to get them in that she can catch public transportation to get to work. And it was already after the school bell rang.
Right.
So I sympathize with the parents that are just trying to do the best that they can, right? And you have people say, well, I bet you they had a cell phone, I bet you they had their nails done and all that. And I say, yeah, every queen wants to look good, even on their bad day. So I'm not there to judge. I'm there to support. And
Right.
and then when you see the kids come in with no school supplies and uniforms from last year, it's like, man, what are we missing?
Right.
So I just made some phone calls, and I was able to go back the next day, actually that Wednesday, and take 30 pair of shoes to the school. I was able to take 20 pair of pants, and I got a donation of $500 to go buy more uniforms for the kids. But part of it is finding uniforms, because school is there and now everybody's moving to something else.
Right.
But it's just a lot of work that we can do in our communities to assist the teachers, assist these kids, and help the parents. And me and my partner always say this: if you want to see a successful school, elementary, high school, middle school, is have a great football team. in most of middle school and high school, because you have an opportunity to have 100 leaders inside of your school. And you guys know as well as I know, everybody's excited about football season. And you know, if you can convince the administration to build good football programs, then everybody else is going to get in line. So you don't have time for the fights, you don't have time for the distractions, because everybody want to be associated with a winner. And I need the principal from the top down to be excited about the kids when they walk through the door. Because if they're looking sad and defeated like they don't want to do it, then it's going to take on the attitude of the kids.
Right.
You know, it's bigger than a paycheck. So yes, I want you to walk in there looking good, but when you walk through those doors, you got to take the pumps off and take that tie loose, and you got to roll up your sleeves, and you got to put on some sneakers, and you got to be ready to go. You got to meet these kids where they are. So I've decided to join the council for the school that I'm working with, and you know, just support them. And I actually coached the principal's two sons when they were playing sports.
Okay.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Mr. DeLoach, I want to ask you, since the program's inception, talk about I don't want to say the graduates, but those that completed the program, rather, the success stories and your feeling, you know, especially when you take them in at 7th grade and you watch them grow. And you, like you said earlier, you can read them, you know, they may need some discipline, but you know they come from a tough situation. But you got them for those 5 years, and then they go on and they become successful in life and they come back. Talk about that. Talk about the feeling and just how you feel when you get a success story.
I sent a story to Devin. Devin, you know, after this, maybe you can bring it up. That you know what I sent you, but I'll just say this: when the kids graduate high school and they go off to college, I still show up to the games. I don't tell them that I'm coming. I'll find a way to show up to their game, and when they run out on the field, they see Coach DeLoach sitting up in the stands. But when they come back home, we ask them to tell the younger kids your experience, right? So part of the foundation is, yes, we're going to help you get to where you are and your parents, but you got to come back and give that information back to the young group. And you know, we've had kids at Duke, we got LSU, Georgia. My son was at Florida State. We got Clemson, Miami. Y'all got one of our freshman guys down in Miami. You got one of our guys at LSU. They're freshmen, and they're prepared. And you know, the coaches tell them, you know, they see it, that they come ready. The only thing they don't know is the playbook. Right. But as far as mentally prepared and physically fit to play at that level, you know, they're ready to go.
They're ready. Yeah.
They're ready because, you know, we wake up to win. You know, that's my motto. Every day that I get up, I wake up to win. I wake up to be successful. I wake up to make a difference, right? I wake up to holding people accountable, including myself. Right. You know, so it all starts with me and my partner, Sam Carter, when it comes to the gym, you know. But it's a great feeling when they go off to college and then they call back and say, Coach, I'm killing these kids, you know. And the coach is like, man, we need some more like them. It's like, yeah, you know, we don't.
Right,
you know,
right.
In Savannah, we've been fortunate enough to have the two #1 kids in the country from Savannah, Georgia. Elijah Griffin is a freshman at Georgia, and LaDamian Guyton, he just committed to Texas Tech last week. He's a #1 player for the class of 2027. So we got Nolan Smith is from Savannah. You know, he just won a Super Bowl with Philly. We got Kamari Lassiter, who's a rookie going to his second year with the Houston Texans. You know, my son was in the league with Tampa. He's a free agent right now. So, you know, we got Warren Brunson. He's a rookie with the Green Bay Packers. Winston Wright was with the Cleveland Browns. Sam Brown was with Green Bay. You know, so, you know, we're doing a little something in Savannah. But when the kids see success stories, then it's easy to sell the product because they see the success stories of the kids that came before them. And if you're a parent, you want to figure out, hey, how can I get with Coach DeLoach and Coach Carter? So you're getting strength and conditioning, you're getting life skills, you're getting kids coming back, pouring back into your community. You know, we just filling in the gaps. That's probably the easiest way to explain it. But I've had stories where I haven't been so successful. When I was coaching Little League, you know, we get them from what, 5 to 12, right?
Mhm.
Because, you know, that's the drop off. All the coaches got them. You guys know this.
Yep.
And we get them all day. Win or lose, we feed them haircuts, and then mom and dad show up. Well, we had a kid that turned 13 after the season, and we normally play football up into December because we travel, you know, to Atlanta. We may come to Florida and just play an all-star game. It's kind of end all, just have some fun. So December was our last time with the 12U kids, and we had this one kid in particular that we used to pick him up and bring him to practice and to the games. And a lot of times when we showed up to the driveway, it's 3 or 4 cars in the driveway. It's like, well, why in the hell are we coming over here to pick him up when it's 3 or 4 cars? Y'all know the story. It ain't the dad, but it's the mom with the boyfriend who ain't got time for her children. So we pick him up, and he turned 13. In May of turning 13, he had killed someone. So we had him from December, a great kid, to not playing football, no support at home, roam the streets, robbed somebody of a fake gold chain, killed them, and he was in juvenile from 13 to 17. And when he turned 17, they charged him as an adult.
Wow.
The same age as my youngest son. He's 23 years old. So he just started doing 6 years of his 20-year sentence. And he's been incarcerated in the juvenile system from 13 to 17, 17 to prison. And the part that bothered me the most is that this kid was a great kid, smart. And he called my wife and I one night, and he was in a prison down in Albany, Georgia. And I don't know how they get phones. And he FaceTimed me. He said, Coach, you know, I asked him, how you doing, son? He said, Coach, I'm doing the best I can. And he showed us the machete. He showed us, you know, all of the things, you know, that as a 17-year-old kid trying to survive in a grown man's world of not having air conditioning in the summer and no heat in the winter in the prison system. And for somehow, you know, he kept up with my kids. And he would call them and say, man, y'all just keep going. I'm watching y'all. You know, he's in prison. And to this day, he still knows everything that goes on with the boys, you know, via Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, however it works out.
Right.
But I learned a lot. It just made me more, you know, want to go more, because a great kid that got lost in the shuffle because he just didn't have the support. And once he left youth sports, then the streets consumed him.
Damn.
That'll do it. That'll do
And
it.
you say he's how old?
He's 23 now, so he's 10 years in the system, 6 as an adult. And he got 14 more to go.
14 more to go. So he'll be 37 by the time he get out.
Yep. If he survives, you know, that long, we pray that he gets out.
Right.
So,
Wow.
Devin, I you know, that's just, you know, but I had a young man and I sent it to Devin. Devin, if you still have it, if you want to share it.
You know what? Yeah, I was. That's what I was about to tell him. And this young man named James. He reached out to Mr. DeLoach and he said, good morning. What's up, Pops? This is James from years ago. Used to stay in the Battery Point, played with Island and Coastal with Kaylin and JJ. Years later, man, I appreciate how you used to be on us and wish I would have listened different. I'm home now from doing prison time. When I was in high school, I talked to Kaylin, JJ, and Taylor. Often and always tell them I'm proud of how they stuck to it, and I appreciate you for how you used to be on me and won't when we were younger. Now that I'm older, I see everything different and how life would have been different if we listened to people like you who always tried to tell us right. But this page of my life in Atlanta now, and I own a kennel, but I compete and travel around the world doing I reach out and I pay my respect.
So the kid that he mentioned in there, um, he got shot about 2 years ago. He got shot 30 times in his mom's house. Same kid. There's two of them. He went to prison, and the kid that he was mentioning this passage got shot 30 something times at 5 o'clock in the morning at his mom's house.
Whoa. Wow.
And and this is what me and Larry Frank talk about. Just trying to, and me and you've had this conversation too, Mr. DeLoach. Just trying to, reach out to our communities. We're trying to, see what we can do to make a difference.
Right.
And that's why we wanted to bring you on, man, so that you can tell your story. Because I know you had me and you talk extensively a lot, man. And
Yeah.
some of the stuff that you told me, man, I'm like, it's just amazing, man. So like, what do you need from like men, black men? Like, what more can black men do to be involved, man? To try to, do our part. Like even myself, like, I know I'm here in Atlanta, but what is it that we can do?
We just have to be the beacon of light. We can't be afraid of these kids. We got to meet them where they are. And a lot of times, for me, I talked about my dad, but my mom never told me she loved me until I got stationed and was getting ready to head over to Germany. And I was 22 years old. So my mom was like, I love you. And, for me and my brothers, I thought it was funny. I started laughing because I had never heard those words out of her mouth at 22 years old. And I don't know if you guys saw the story with Kurt Franklin and what's the comedian?
Yes,
and they talked about, and I commented on that because I could relate to that. And when you've never heard someone that carried you for 9 months ever tell you that you love you, man, it's hard to know how to love back when you've never heard it before. Your granny gonna always love you and your grandparents. But when your mom don't tell you that and your dad don't tell you that because they got their own things going on, I had to learn how to do that. As I got older, and then I started having children, and it was hard for me. And I love my seeds. The crazy part is my dad. My grandfather's name is Robert DeLoach. My dad's name is Robert DeLoach. I'm Robert DeLoach, and when I had children, no more damn Robert DeLoaches.
That was it.
That was it.
Change the cycle.
Yeah. And my first cousin, his dad's name is. Yeah. And my first cousin, his dad's name is Robert DeLoach, and he named his son Robert DeLoach III. I'm like, man, it's too many of us, right? So, I had the girls first, and then when I had the boys, they're gonna have their own identity, so they don't get caught up. Oh, you want to, you Robert's son. Yeah, I get that all the time, and they start telling stories about your granddad and your dad, when they were young. And I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely a DeLoach, so I get it. But, like I say with my mother, man, and I'm the oldest of her 4 children. So I have 2 brothers and a sister from my mom. And she passed away in 2018. And I had a different type feeling when she passed away. It wasn't nothing negative, but it wasn't like. And let me back up with that. Not only did my granny raise me, but we took care of her till she was 98 years old. So between having 3 kids that played multiple sports, coaching, I used to take my daughter from Savannah, Georgia, to Atlanta every other weekend for 2 years so she could train with Dwight Phillips because she was a long jumper. I did that for 2 years, every other Friday. I would pick up at 3, drive to Atlanta, drop off at Cedar Groves High School, go to the gas
That
station.
is not no short drive, dude.
No, that's 3 hours and 49 minutes.
By 3, yeah. About to say.
Wow.
I
did it, right? I was sitting in the gas station, take a deep breath, go to the bathroom, gas up, drive back home, get home about 9 o'clock, get up Saturday morning, go coach the boys, go to church on Sunday, get out of church at 1, get to Atlanta by 4, pick up at 5, and get back home at 9. I did that every other weekend for 2 years.
Ooh. Yeah.
That was just with
Dedication.
her.
Right.
So, people said, I always said, what are you willing to sacrifice?
Yeah.
Now, I still had my granny who had dementia. So my wife, I was blessed with her. It'd be 30 years for us on August the 26th. She was in the medical field. So, and we can laugh about it, but a lot of times when granny needed, to be changed, me and Kaylin or JJ, we'd be trying to change it. Them old women, she had dementia, but she was still proud, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Right.
a lot of times we try to change it and she'd be covering up. And my wife come home and they'd be like, man, y'all don't smell that? We like, nah, man, we don't smell nothing. And, and go in there and granny all messed up because she wouldn't let her, wouldn't let the boys,
Right.
wipe, keep her clean.
Mm-hmm.
So they understood the lesson is she made the sacrifices for me, and I'm making the sacrifices to take care of her. And my grandfather, before he passed, he said, the one thing you do, you take care of your grandmother. He didn't ask my dad or my uncle. He said, make sure you take care of your granny. So she lived to be 98 years old. I think that's a wonderful life.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And, even on her deathbed, she was still fighting. And I told her, Granny, if you ready to go, I can take it from here. And she opened her eyes and she looked at me. I looked at her, and she lived 2 days after that. So, and I will say this: I get that spirit from her, that kindred spirit of helping people and giving back. Because if I know she's born in 1920, so the stories of
She's seen it.
our grandparents born then, and
Yeah.
Right.
if she could survive all of that, hell, it's no need for me to complain.
That
Facts.
part. That part.
I'm going to shut my mouth. There's no way that they survived all of that, and she was the oldest of 10 siblings.
Mm.
So there's no need for me to complain when she tell me how she grew up as a child, how she was treated, how her siblings was treated. I mean, I got the good life. I'm like Kanye, I'm living the good life.
Right.
Right.
So if she never complained, I never complained. And then, like my mother, I mean, she was a mother. I can't say it because she gave me life. But she had me at 17 years old. And her parents were never there for her. So she lived with my dad's parents. So it's generational stuff, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And when she passed away, it was like, man, I lose my mom in 2016, and then I lose my granny in 2018. And I still got these kids, right? And I still got kids in the community. And I still got to work. On top of that, where I was working at, we had an explosion. The plant blew up. 14 people died, right? Not knowing that I didn't have no job.
Hmm.
So because of relationships, I was able to travel to Gramercy, Louisiana, and work down there for 2 years. So, to keep my family. And it was a struggle because I was still coaching. I'll be gone for 2 weeks, and then I come back for 2 weeks. And I did that for 2 years also. So, you know, it wasn't easy, but I wouldn't change anything because it just made me a better human being. It made me a better provider. It made me appreciate life because 14 people died in an explosion. It could have been me. And I was out there the night of the explosion.
Correct.
But the good Lord spared me for a reason, right? And I had to do his work. And the work is helping the community, building up his kingdom, and being a resource and being a leader.
And do you have a team, Mr. DeLoach? Like you have people that you partner with, or some of your homeboys you want to shout them out and say what's up
Well,
to them, man?
Absolutely.
well, it always takes the village. So you and I met through my son's agent, Melvin Bratton. So I appreciate, Mel B for putting us, in connection, putting us
Sure.
together. And then you guys allow me to come on your platform to share my story. I also give a shout out to my partner in crime, Sam Carter, who I say is the best strength and condition coach there is in the universe. Not only is the great strength and conditioning coach, but he's a great human being. I'm 5 years older than him, but I learned so much from him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he is a student of life. And, I find myself getting up 4 o'clock in the morning, reading and studying on how I can get better and how we can get better collectively. My church family, my pastor, he's A1. He has a story, amazing story within itself. So, as a great leader of our church, St. Philip AME Church here in Savannah, Georgia, I have a historian, Dr. Jamal Touré. If anything to do with history, Black history, he's grounded. It's not a subject that he doesn't know. My Savannah State University family. It's just so many people. The guys on my foundation, Chad Sutton down in Louisiana, Kenny Williams over in Charleston, South Carolina, and Elwood Robinson, a lot of guys that show up. When I have events.
Yep.
It's just it's the village. So
Yep.
part of the village, and you guys, you guys are young, probably compared to me. I'm 57. I'll be 57 in November.
We 47.
I ain't that far behind. Y'all
We're not
48.
that far behind.
Hey, we need 2 more them.
Yeah. Look. I'm getting the AARP letters right now, so I'm a little concerned.
It's starting to come in, right?
Yeah.
Hey, they're gonna come in, but you talk about the communities, and we started losing our communities when we stopped building homes that didn't have front porches. Because now everybody, you know what they got? They got a privacy fence and they got a deck in the back.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
So nobody knows who's in the neighborhood anymore. We were coming up, Miss Henrietta sat on that porch.
You knew everybody.
And watched everything, right?
All your business.
You had Mr. John around. You had Mr. John around the corner. You had the neighborhood candy lady, the candy store. So everybody knew everybody, and we knew when those street lights came on, you need to be making a beeline to the crib.
Oh yeah,
there you go. Yep.
And if you got caught out there, you used to have to go get your own switch.
Yep. That's right.
That's how it was. So, so that's part of, the struggle is we got to get back to the village. And when you don't know who your next door neighbor is, and you don't know the person that live across the street and around the corner, then we're going to struggle.
Right.
Absolutely.
And tell them where they can. You talking about a book too, man? We got a little something with a book getting ready to come out pretty soon too, dog.
Man, I'm working on a book. I'm working on the book, and it's called "I Wish I Had Listened." I wish I had listened.
All right.
And we all can relate to somebody told us something that we wish we had listened.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about me. It's about anybody that takes this book and read it, and it's pretty simple. I wish I had listened. You can apply that to your everyday life.
That's what's up. Look, y'all, I'm going to put it in your face. Man. I ask that you donate. Like I say, over here at U-Talk, man, y'all know, like I say, man, we support our athletes, and we support everybody that come on this show, man. So we want to support Mr. Rob DeLoach Jr. There's his Cash App. He is the founder and executive director of the Factory 2.0. He's on with U-Talk tonight, man. And if you want to give a donation, I've gave mine. Listen, you guys feel free.
It's U-Talk, baby.
Send it in. There's his Cash App right there. Mr. DeLoach, man, give them your handles too, man, so they want to follow you maybe on, IG, Facebook. What are you on, man? To give them the website and everything so they can go on and check out the factory, man, so they can kind of get an idea on who Mr. DeLoach is, the people that's just joining the show.
Well, I'm a big, huge Twitter guy. I don't know how to work all the Instagram and the TikTok and all that. But I'm at Rob.
I don't know how to work Twitter.
Oh man, that's my thing, man.
Same here. I ain't no Twitter guy.
Right.
So it is Rob_DeLoach. It's pretty simple. Rob_DeLoach at Rob_DeLoach. I'm on Facebook as Rob DeLoach. And if you Google the Factory 2.0, it's automatically going to pull up me. But you can reach me at enterthefactory2.0 at gmail.com. And, that's my platform. I'm still learning. I'm still new in this game. of building relationships. And when my son was playing at Florida State, I gained a lot of friends and followers, um, through going to the games and just supporting the university. And you guys know we went through a time where, it wasn't Florida State. And so I met a lot of great people, a lot of great relationships. And it kind of just, spun from there because when they was recruiting my son, Coach Taggart and his crew came to my house. And I cooked oxtails and macaroni and cheese and cabbage and, yellow rice. And we had lemonade and cornbread and sweet tea.
Yeah.
And
you
Brother
did it
James, yeah, brother, I'm put you to sleep. Take your shoes off and take your jacket off and, sit on the floor wherever get in where you fit in.
Right.
Because I learned if you ever recruit my son, and I know how these guys on the road, I always felt like I was obligated to feed them like they were family.
Mhm.
And I did that. And so James Coleman, who, I give a shout out to James, Big Game James, he had me on the show and it was like, and Tariq Knockoff, just like, man, Mr. DeLoach, man, she throwing down. So I got on like, what makes you think she doing that? Man, that's all me. I know how to cook. I was raised by my granny. So when you raised by your granny, man, I don't need no woman in the kitchen. You're in the way. You just go, I don't need you to stir these pots here. So, when you put the oxtails and turkey wings and collard greens and cabbage and macaroni and cheese, candy yams and crab cakes, hey, I got them in a sleeper hole.
Hey, Frank, that sounds like a road trip, Frank.
Frank,
Frank.
Savannah, look, Savannah, here we go.
Hey, come on down, man.
Hey, Frank, he gave me some tagging in the fella, you know what I'm saying? Come on the game, boy.
Hey, you only 4 hours away. You get down there easy. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna take a day off. I'm gonna have to take a road trip, man. I'm gonna drive.
Hey, I wait on you, bro. I wait on you.
Hey, man, I bring them plates to the A. Ain't no thing. Hey, I can meet you on 65. I meet you on 65, man. You ain't got to come all the way. I meet you in Mobile.
Hey, listen, yes, sir.
Yeah, man. It's just, recruiting for me, it was new. Like when my brother was going to college, my mother's like, I don't need them coaches calling me because they was recruiting my brother from the West Coast. And back then, you didn't have no two-way.
Right.
So they calling my mom in the projects at 11 o'clock at night, and she like, I got to go to work. And I'm like, Mom, they're trying to recruit your son. Well, you tell them to call you. So they would call me, and he ended up going to play ball at Southern Illinois, and graduated from college. And that was my first introduction to recruiting. But then when my daughter got recruited, man, I had 3 or 4 coaches a day. I didn't know no damn better, right? And I actually wore out a couch and a recliner because for a week I might have had 40 coaches come to my house for her every other hour.
Hey.
3 days, 5 days a week, 3 hours a day. I got tired looking at uniforms and spikes and bags and hoodies and all the uniforms because that's all they do for track. They lay out all of the gear. I'm like, I don't need to see no more gear, but I learned, right? And when it came to Kalen, I was like, we only going to, the guys that want to come and seriously recruiting you, then we invite them to the house because, once you start getting to your house, that's where you lay your head. So you can't trust everybody coming to your house.
Correct.
But, between Coach Harbaugh had never been to Savannah when he recruited Kalen in Michigan. He came to my job and people was like, why is Jim Harbaugh here? Because this Bulldog country.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's all man, they recruiting Rob's son. It was like, man, this must be, this can't be real. And then he left there and went to my wife's job at the hospital. And I tell you not, they were delivering babies. And them doctors heard that Jim Harbaugh was in the hospital. Man, they put all that on hold. So them babies was on hold, get delivered. So, we had Coach Malzahn, who's now at Florida State. Auburn was huge. And then Florida State, and he ended up choosing Florida State, and we've been riding ever since. So I met some great coaches, built some great relationships, met some great fans, And, I never thought about mine. I always thought about the kids coming behind them. So, if they didn't go to those schools, still kept the relationship open, like I say, for the next batch of kids coming. And, with doing that, coaches respected that. And now we have kids that all over the country going to college.
Oh, that's what's up.
Awesome. Love it.
That's what's up, man. Well, man, Frank, I ain't gonna hold my guy all night, man. Anything you want to get it, man? You got some else for him before we get him out of here?
I just want to take this opportunity to give you your flowers, and on behalf of everybody that you have ever inspired, everybody that you have ever helped, just say thank you, because we need more like you in our community. Because in our community, I think the emphasis is the here and now when it comes to sports. And I always used to say, like when my boy was in high school, them 4 years they get out you on Friday nights, or them 4 years they get out you on the hardwood, you doing all you got to do for them. But then when your eligibility is up and you about to graduate, what then? And that's what they don't tell you. That's what they don't teach you. So
Right.
The fact that you guys are emphasizing and pushing life in addition to sports, thank you. And we need more like you. And I salute you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You're quite welcome.
Yes, you already know what I think about you, man. I tell you all the time, man. I appreciate you, man. Special guy, man. Love you to death, man. Thank you what you're doing for the community, and keep on doing it, man. We need more people like you, man. And like I said, we ain't going nowhere. We right here. So if it's anything that we can do to help, I want to look dead in the camera and tell you, we got you, man. So like I say, get me those handles, man. I want to put all that stuff up on my website.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it up on all of the social media stuff. So if you guys, man, you want to donate, I'm gonna put it up again before we get out of here. And I'm gonna let him give some departing words, man. So I appreciate you coming on the platform. Thank you very much. And then whenever, you are always welcome. Anytime you want to come on, you already know, Mr. Lowe. So give us some departing words. What would you like to say, man? Give them where they can find you at, and give us some departing words, man. So we ain't gonna keep you on here all night.
It's all good, man. Like I said, I appreciate you guys having me. You can find me at Rob_DeLoach. You can reach out to me at enterthefactory2.0 at gmail.com. You can find me on Facebook as Robert DeLoach. It's pretty simple. It has my face up there. And, I guess the last thing I would say is, man, we have to keep inspiring each other. We have to keep uplifting each other. And we got to find a way, set examples for our young people. And especially the least, the lost, and the left out. Telling them I love you, just the little things. It's not the big things. It's always going to be the little things that you take time just to listen to them, and then you meet them where they at. You meet them where they are. You meet them where they at, and we don't judge, right? And that's part of what we should do as elders. Is not judge, but be good listeners, but hold them accountable, right? Because the easiest thing for them to do is blame somebody else for why they can't be successful, right? So when you remove the excuses and you hold them accountable for what they say they want to do, then we create the standard. And if we don't create the standard, then the system is going to create the standard, right? And you guys know as well as I know, and the people on the platform, there's nothing good that happens after midnight. Nothing good comes after midnight, right? The only thing that's going to be open is the jailhouse and the funeral home, and they in this big business and the jailhouse. So if young people out there listening, listen to your parents, find you some role models, find how you can help someone else, and remember, nothing good happens after 12.
Well, I love it, man. Mr. Loach, I appreciate you coming on again, man. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, man. This was great, man. I hope you guys, everybody in the chat, I hope you enjoyed the show tonight, man. We finna try to break Melvin Brad records, man, because he been talking shit. So we gotta get it, man. So the rewatch show, man. You guys come back and watch the show. I'm gonna post a link on the social media pages, man. We trying to break Mr. Loach. You know how you like to talk, John. Larry Frank, you already know how you.
Hey
Oh
man,
Lord, have
hey,
mercy. Don't I know MB?
hey man, hey, but
Mr.
we
B, what
grateful
up?
for him, right? It's a numbers game, right?
All
But
right.
but at the same time, man, any way that we can support each other, because if it wasn't for him, then I wouldn't be here. But I'm grateful for him, and his leadership and the things that he's done to help my son and help other young people aspire to reach their dreams. And if it was easy, everybody be doing it, right? And we know
Right.
Sure.
trying to play in the National Football League is not an easy task. It's probably the worst job you can want for your son because you could be here today and gone tomorrow. But such is life,
Ooh,
right?
man.
It's a teaching experience. It's not about how
Man.
many times you get knocked down, but it's how many times you get back up.
You get up. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what it is, man. That's what's up. Who is this, Mr. DeLoach? You know this guy? The National League,
Engineering
So
league.
Engineering League?
can we take about 5 more minutes and I can tell you this story?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So the guy with the National Engineering League is my brother, and we just met each other 2 years ago. So, so what happened is his mother passed like 2 years ago, and he felt like the person that raised him wasn't, they didn't click like that. So he went on the Ancestor and Me, one of those websites, and he started researching. And he's a smart guy. He's an engineer. So my cousin out of New Jersey, she called me and she was like, "Hey, Robert." I was like, "Yeah, Katrina." She said, "Do you know this lady named Goldie?" And I said, "Nah, man, that's some old people name, right?" Because in my days, I didn't have no girlfriend named Goldie. I said, "You better call my dad." Certain names, in our clique, man, ain't no Goldie in our circle. So sure enough, she called my dad in Newport News, Virginia, and he was like, she asked me for Robert. You know this lady named Goldie? And my dad's 77. I have a 15-year-old sister. I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it again. My dad is 77. I got a 15-year-old sister.
Oh, man.
I did the math. I did the math yesterday. I already know.
So
Man.
yeah.
I was a
So
Rolling Stone, baby.
hey man, hey, he probably still rolling if he killed him.
It was the 5th of December.
But yeah. So she called him and they said, "Robert, do you know this lady named Goldie?" And it took him a minute. He said, "Yeah, I remember, back in the days, you know how it go." And she said, "Well, she had a son named Corey." And now my dad still lives in Newport News, and Corey's mom still lived in Newport News. But she never told my dad that she had a son. He knew she had a daughter, right? Because back in the days, they wait for the kids to go to sleep, and then what we do, we creep on by, right?
Right.
Just what it is. We grown folks, right? That's just what happens.
Right.
And fast forward, he reached out and he started asking questions. And when it came back, he was my dad's son. And he called me, and he wanted to meet me. And the only thing that I said, I asked him how old was he, and he said I was 44. I said, well, I'm still the oldest, so it really don't matter. So yeah, come on down, and instantly, we just picked up because he was doing things in the community with the National Engineering League where he, helped kids, get who want to pursue engineering get college scholarships through his foundation where they don't, pay limited resources, not only in the United States but abroad as well. He helped sponsor the young lady or guy over in Kenya. So he's definitely a DeLoach, and has that kindred spirit of giving and helping people as well. So we connected, and we've been rolling ever since. So he helps me with a lot of my building my platform and websites and stuff like that. I'm good at bringing people together, but far as this behind the scenes stuff, he's been an excellent help and a great resource. So that's the story, and that's what we're sticking to. And I'm still the oldest, and I appreciate it.
That's what's
Absolutely.
up, man. That's what's up, man. Man, we appreciate you again, man. Thank you, big bro, for coming on, man.
Yes,
I love you,
sir.
man. You already know what it is. Thank you, man. So, listen, y'all, man. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to everybody that tuned in tonight. We really appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much. We hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. I'm Mr. DeLoach. Look here now, big bro. Look here now, man. We do a little something, man, when we get off the show. You know what I'm saying? I know you already know what it is. I mean, I know you're a Florida State guy. I know this. I know you're a Florida State guy. I know this, but
Man, I'm gonna take joy in this. I'm taking joy in this right here.
Before y'all go, man, before y'all go there, go pull DeLoach highlights. And I think his last game at Doak Campbell Stadium, he had 10 tackles and 2.5 sacks? 2.5 sacks against the U. That's all I'm gonna say. I won't even bring up 4 for 14. I won't even bring up 4 for 14. I won't even bring up 45 to 3 on y'all field.
We like DeLoach.
Y'all like DeLoach? Okay.
He gets a pass. He gets a pass.
He gets a pass. Yeah, that's one of our guys. You know what I'm saying? We need you to chime in with us because see, the U stand for universal. You know what I'm saying? Because we got a whole lot of different things that we do over here. So you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna. U-Haul. You say U-Haul tonight. That's all U-Haul. Tell DeLoach it's U-Haul tonight. That's all it is. So listen to y'all. I'm gonna get my big bro to do this with us tonight, man. Larry Frank, you ready, man? Cause we got him on. You ready to end it, Larry Frank? You ready for
always? Yes, sir.
Y'all know how we start every show, and y'all know how we end every show. Come on, Mr. D. It ain't. Oh, so hold on. We got a phone call. Let's take one more. This might not be no Florida State fan trying to mess up my doggone vibe. Hold on real quick. Hold on real quick. Hey, Zoo Talk, call us. State your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, this is Commissioner Scott. What up?
What's going on? Hey, Mr. D, you hear that?
That's my brother.
Hey, what's up? What's up, sir?
Rob, what's up, man? I see you holding it down, man. It's a great show, man. I'm glad you told me about it. I'll be tuning in the future.
Yeah, man. We're gonna partner with these brothers, man, and we're gonna continue to grow our platform and with their platform, man, and their relationships and our relationships, man. This is what it's all about. So we just plant seeds for the next generation.
Yes.
Yes, sir. At the end of the day, before we leave, man, we got to make sure we got something sustainable so these kids can get to where they got to get to,
Yes, sir.
So let's go, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we appreciate you calling in too, man. Thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir. Y'all keep up the good work, all right?
All right. Thank you, brother. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, I love it. I love it. Well, it wasn't no Florida State fan there, man, so that was good, man. I thought somebody was trying to doggone bang on us, man. You know what I'm saying?
I thought. Hey, I was scared. I thought when you answered the phone, I thought you was gonna hear. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm like, for real, dog.
Nah, man,
we're gonna try this again, y'all.
We got to respect the platform, man.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Listen,
Thank
y'all. Y'all know how we start every show. And y'all know how we end every show. It ain't no us. Come on, Mr. D. Throw it up with me now. It's U-Haul, baby. Come on. What you got, Mr. D? I can't see it. Come on.
Hey, man, I got a little you.
Okay,
That's good enough.
Without you, baby.
Without you, baby.
He said throw it down, Frank.
Yeah, man, I got to put that down, man.
Yeah.
I got standards. I got standards, man.
Hey, man, listen. We appreciate it, man. We love you, man. Hey, keep up doing the great work that you're doing. Don't stop, man. Like I said, we here with you for anything that you need. Thank you, Mr. DeLoach, man. We love you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right. Y'all brothers have a good night, man. Keep your platform hot, man. And I look forward to talking to you guys again.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. It's New Talk, man. Y'all hold it down, man. We love y'all.
Peace.
It's U Talk, baby.